If you have been feeling unusually exhausted lately, if climbing stairs leaves you winded when it never used to, or if you find yourself needing to rest during activities that were easy just a few months ago, I need you to pay very close attention to what I am about to share because this could be the most important health information you receive this year. What I am going to tell you is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to protect you. Because the symptom I am about to reveal is dismissed by millions of seniors every single day as just getting older. And for far too many of them, that dismissal costs them their lives. Let me make you a clear promise right now. By the end of this video, you will understand the #1 heart attack warning sign that seniors consistently mistake for normal aging. You will know exactly why this symptom is so dangerous precisely because it seems so ordinary. And you will have a clear understanding of when to take it seriously and what action to take. This is not about creating fear. This is about giving you knowledge that could save your life. I am Dr. James Mitchell. I have spent over 25 years working with patients who have experienced cardiac events, and one pattern has haunted me throughout my entire career. Again and again, I see seniors who had warning signs for weeks or even months before their heart attack. Warning signs they ignored because they thought it was simply what happens when you get older. The tragedy is that many of these heart attacks could have been prevented. The warning signs were there. The body was sending clear signals. But those signals were misinterpreted as the inevitable decline of aging, rather than the urgent messages they actually were. So let me ask you directly, have you noticed a significant change in your energy level over the past several weeks or months? Do you feel exhausted in a way that seems different from normal tiredness? Write your answer in the comments below because becoming aware of this pattern is the first step toward protecting yourself. And once a heart attack occurs, we cannot undo the damage to heart muscle. Let me tell you about a man named Harold. Harold was 73 years old and had always been active. He played golf twice a week, walked his dog every morning, and helped his wife tend their garden. But over the course of about 2 months, something changed. Harold started feeling tired. Not just regular tired, but a deep bone-weary exhaustion that sleep did not fix. He found himself needing to sit down during his walks. He stopped playing golf because he just did not have the energy. He told his wife he guessed this was what getting old felt like. His wife suggested he see a doctor, but Harold refused. He said there was nothing wrong with him that a few good nights of sleep would not fix. He was just slowing down like everyone does at his age. 3 weeks later, Harold had a massive heart attack while working in his garden. He survived, but his heart sustained significant damage. When the cardiologist reviewed his case afterward, the pattern was clear. Harold had been experiencing cardiac warning signs for at least 8 weeks before his heart attack. His heart had been struggling and telling him in the only way it could, through exhaustion. Harold told me later that if he had known that kind of fatigue could be his heart, he would have gone to the doctor immediately. But he had no idea. He thought tired was just tired. This is the story I hear over and over again. And it breaks my heart every time because this knowledge could change everything. Here is what I want you to understand, and this is the critical piece of information that could save your life. The #1 heart attack warning sign that seniors consistently mistake for aging is unexplained persistent fatigue, not ordinary tiredness, not the fatigue you feel after a busy day or a poor night of sleep. I am talking about exhaustion that is disproportionate to your activity level, that does not improve with rest, and that represents a significant change from how you normally feel. This type of fatigue is one of the most common warning signs of an impending heart attack, particularly in adults over 60. Studies show that up to 70% of heart attack patients experienced unusual fatigue in the weeks or days leading up to their cardiac event. Yet this symptom is almost never recognized for what it is. Why does this happen? Why does a struggling heart make you feel exhausted? The answer lies in how your cardiovascular system works. Your heart is a pump. Its job is to push oxygen-rich blood throughout your entire body. Every organ, every muscle, every cell depends on that steady supply of oxygenated blood to function properly. When your heart is struggling, when arteries are becoming blocked or heart muscle is not pumping efficiently, your body does not receive the oxygen it needs. And the first thing you notice is not chest pain. The first thing you notice is that everything becomes harder. Walking feels more difficult. Climbing stairs leaves you winded. Tasks that used to be effortless now exhaust you. Your body is working harder to compensate for a heart that is not keeping up, and that extra effort manifests as profound fatigue. This is especially true for seniors because of something called atypical presentation. Younger people who have heart attacks typically experience the classic symptoms we all know: crushing chest pain, pain radiating down the left arm, shortness of breath, cold sweats. These symptoms send people to the emergency room immediately. But seniors often experience heart attacks very differently. Their symptoms tend to be more subtle, more vague, and much easier to dismiss. Fatigue is at the top of that list, followed by shortness of breath, mild indigestion, and general weakness. The medical community calls these atypical symptoms, but for seniors they are actually quite typical. The problem is that both seniors and sometimes even their doctors are looking for the dramatic Hollywood heart attack and missing the quiet warning signs that are far more common in older adults. Let me tell you about another patient. Her name was Eleanor. She was 69 years old, and for about 6 weeks before her heart attack, she felt what she described as a heavy tiredness. She would wake up in the morning already exhausted. Simple activities like preparing breakfast or walking to the mailbox would leave her needing to rest. She took more naps than usual, but the naps never seemed to help. Eleanor mentioned this to her daughter but dismissed it herself. She said she supposed this was just what 70 felt like. Her daughter urged her to see a doctor, but Eleanor kept putting it off. She did not have chest pain. She did not have arm pain. She thought she was simply adjusting to being older. When Eleanor's heart attack occurred, she was fortunate that her daughter was visiting. The symptoms that day included more fatigue, some mild jaw discomfort, and a general sense that something was wrong. Her daughter recognized that the jaw discomfort was not normal and insisted on calling emergency services. Eleanor survived her heart attack, but required 2 stents in her coronary arteries. Her cardiologist told her that the arteries had been narrowing for months. Her heart had been starving for oxygen for weeks. All that unexplained exhaustion was her heart crying out for help. I share these stories because I need you to understand that this is not rare. This is not unusual. This is happening to seniors every single day. And the ones who recognize the warning signs have dramatically better outcomes than those who dismiss them as aging. Now let me go deeper into why cardiac fatigue feels different from normal tiredness, because being able to distinguish between them could save your life. Normal fatigue has a cause you can identify. You worked hard that day. You did not sleep well the night before. You have been under stress. You are fighting off a mild illness. Normal fatigue improves with rest. You sleep well one night and wake up feeling better. Normal fatigue matches your activity level. Cardiac fatigue is different in several important ways. First, it is disproportionate. You feel exhausted even when you have not done much. Walking a short distance wipes you out. Activities that were easy a few months ago now seem impossibly tiring. The fatigue does not match what you actually did. Second, it does not resolve with rest. You sleep all night and wake up still exhausted. You take a nap and feel no better afterward. No amount of rest seems to restore your energy. Third, it represents a change from your baseline. This is not how you normally feel. This is different. This is new. Something has shifted in your body, and you can sense it even if you cannot explain it. Fourth, it often comes with other subtle symptoms. Maybe you are slightly more short of breath than usual. Maybe you have occasional mild indigestion or discomfort in your upper body. Maybe you feel lightheaded at times. These accompanying symptoms often fly under the radar, but when combined with unexplained fatigue, they paint a concerning picture. I want to pause here and speak directly to those of you who may be experiencing this right now. If what I am describing sounds familiar, if you have been feeling this kind of unexplained exhaustion, please do not ignore it. Please do not assume it is just age. Please talk to a doctor and specifically mention that you are concerned about your heart. Too many seniors downplay their symptoms because they do not want to seem like they are complaining or because they do not want to bother anyone. This is not complaining. This is self-preservation. Your body is trying to tell you something important, and you deserve to have it taken seriously. Now let me explain the mechanism behind this in more detail, because understanding what is happening inside your body makes it easier to take appropriate action. Your coronary arteries are the blood vessels that feed your heart muscle itself. Even though your heart is constantly pumping blood to the rest of your body, it needs its own blood supply to stay healthy and function properly. That supply comes through the coronary arteries. Over time, these arteries can become narrowed by plaque buildup. This process, called atherosclerosis, happens gradually over years and decades. As the arteries narrow, less blood reaches the heart muscle. Less blood means less oxygen. Less oxygen means the heart has to work harder to do the same job. When your heart is working harder than it should be, your entire body feels the strain. Energy that should be available for daily activities is being redirected to keep your struggling heart pumping. The result is fatigue that seems to come from nowhere. In some cases, the narrowing becomes severe enough that parts of the heart muscle begin to weaken from chronic oxygen deprivation. This can happen without any chest pain whatsoever. It is called silent ischemia, and it is particularly common in seniors and people with diabetes. By the time symptoms become obvious in these cases, significant damage may have already occurred. That is why catching the early warning sign of unexplained fatigue is so critical. It gives you a chance to intervene before permanent heart damage occurs. Here is something else that many seniors do not realize. You can have a heart attack without even knowing it. These are called silent heart attacks, and studies suggest they account for nearly half of all heart attacks in older adults. The symptoms are so mild or so easily attributed to other causes that people never seek medical attention. They might feel extra tired for a few days. They might have some indigestion or mild flu-like symptoms. They rest, it passes, and they think nothing of it. Meanwhile, their heart muscle has sustained damage that shows up later when they have another event or undergo testing for something else. Silent heart attacks are dangerous precisely because they go unrecognized. The damage accumulates, the heart weakens, and the risk of a future fatal heart attack increases dramatically. This is why I am so passionate about getting this message out. Awareness saves lives. When seniors understand that fatigue can be cardiac in origin, they seek help sooner. Earlier intervention means better outcomes. It really is that simple. Let me tell you about one more patient because his story illustrates what is possible when warning signs are recognized early. His name was Robert. He was 71 years old and came to see me because he was concerned about fatigue that had been bothering him for about 3 weeks. He said it felt wrong. He could not explain why, but he knew this was not normal tiredness. He had heard a doctor mention on a radio program that unexplained fatigue could be a heart symptom, and that stuck with him. When we examined Robert and ran cardiac testing, we found significant blockage in 2 of his coronary arteries. His heart was not yet damaged. We caught it before a heart attack occurred. He underwent a procedure to open the blocked arteries and made changes to his lifestyle and medications. Today, Robert is active and healthy. He plays with his grandchildren, he travels with his wife. He has the energy he had wondered if he would ever feel again. Robert was lucky in one sense. But really what made the difference was awareness. He knew that fatigue could be serious. He listened to his body. He sought help instead of dismissing what he was feeling. That is the power of this information. It transforms a vague sense that something is wrong into knowledge that demands action. Now let me give you some practical guidance because knowing about this warning sign is only useful if you know what to do with that knowledge. If you are experiencing unexplained persistent fatigue, especially if it represents a change from how you normally feel, here is what I recommend. First, schedule an appointment with your doctor as soon as possible. Do not wait weeks or months. Do not convince yourself it will pass on its own. Make the call now. Second, when you see your doctor, be specific about your symptoms. Tell them exactly how the fatigue feels and how long it has been going on. Tell them what activities are now difficult that used to be easy. Tell them that it does not improve with rest, and explicitly mention that you are concerned it could be related to your heart. I say this because sometimes doctors need to hear that specific concern to take symptoms seriously. Unfortunately, fatigue in seniors is sometimes dismissed without thorough investigation. Being your own advocate can make a difference. Third, ask for cardiac testing if your doctor does not suggest it. This might include an electrocardiogram, blood tests for cardiac enzymes, a stress test, or an echocardiogram. These tests can reveal problems that are not obvious from a physical examination alone. Fourth, pay attention to any accompanying symptoms. Shortness of breath during activities that did not used to be difficult. Mild discomfort in your chest, jaw, neck, back, or arms. Unusual indigestion or heartburn. Lightheadedness or dizziness. Swelling in your feet or ankles. Any of these symptoms combined with unexplained fatigue is reason for concern. Fifth, if your symptoms suddenly worsen or you experience significant new symptoms, do not wait for an appointment. Call emergency services or have someone take you to the emergency room immediately. Heart attacks can evolve rapidly, and getting treatment quickly can mean the difference between minimal damage and catastrophic damage. Now let me talk about some additional warning signs that often accompany cardiac fatigue, because recognizing the full picture helps you assess your own situation. Shortness of breath is extremely common. Many seniors notice they are winded doing things that never used to bother them. walking to the car, climbing a flight of stairs, even getting dressed. This shortness of breath often comes with the fatigue, and both symptoms share the same cause. The heart is not delivering enough oxygen to meet the body's demands. Sleep disturbances sometimes occur in the weeks before a heart attack. Trouble falling asleep, waking frequently during the night, or waking up feeling unrefreshed even after adequate sleep. These disturbances may be related to subtle changes in circulation and oxygen levels during the night. Unusual sweating can be a warning sign. Some people notice they sweat more than usual, particularly cold sweats or sweating without exertion. This happens because the body's nervous system responds to cardiac stress. Digestive symptoms are surprisingly common, especially in women. Nausea, indigestion, heartburn, or a general sense of stomach upset can precede a heart attack. Many people take antacids for weeks, not realizing the discomfort is actually coming from their heart. Anxiety or a sense of impending doom sounds vague but is reported by many heart attack survivors. They felt that something was wrong even when they could not identify specific symptoms. This intuition should never be dismissed. Now, I want to address something important about gender differences because women need to hear this especially clearly. Women are more likely than men to experience atypical heart attack symptoms. They are more likely to have fatigue, nausea, jaw pain, and back pain rather than classic chest pain. And because of this, women's heart attacks are missed or dismissed more often than men's. Studies show that women wait longer to seek help during a heart attack and are more likely to die from their first cardiac event compared to men. Much of this disparity is attributed to the failure to recognize atypical symptoms for what they really are. If you are a woman over 60 experiencing unexplained fatigue, I urge you to take it seriously. Do not let anyone dismiss your concerns. Do not let yourself dismiss them either. Women's hearts matter, and women's symptoms deserve attention. Let me give you a simple framework for assessing fatigue in yourself or a loved one. Ask these questions. Is this fatigue new, or has it developed recently? Is it disproportionate to my activity level? Does it persist despite adequate rest? Does it interfere with activities that used to be manageable? Is it accompanied by any other unusual symptoms? If you answer yes to several of these questions, cardiac involvement should be considered. It may not be your heart. There are many causes of fatigue. But your heart should be on the list of possibilities to investigate. I also want to encourage family members to pay attention. Sometimes the people closest to us notice changes before we acknowledge them ourselves. If someone you love seems unusually tired, if they are doing less than they used to, if they seem winded or weak, gently encourage them to see a doctor. Your observation might save their life. Here is the message I most want you to take away from this video. Not all heart attack warning signs are dramatic. Not all heart symptoms involve chest pain. The quiet symptoms, the subtle changes, the vague sense that something is different, these can be just as important as the obvious ones. Maybe more important because they are so often missed. Fatigue is not a minor inconvenience to push through. Fatigue that does not make sense, that does not resolve, that represents a change in how your body works. That kind of fatigue is your body sending you a message. Please listen to it. I have seen too many patients who wish they had taken their symptoms seriously sooner. I have sat with too many families grieving loved ones who dismissed warning signs as just getting old. I do not want that for you. I do not want that for anyone watching this video. You deserve to know what your body might be telling you. You deserve to take that information to a doctor who will listen. And you deserve the chance to prevent a heart attack rather than survive one. If this video helped you understand something important, please share it with someone you care about. The more people who recognize these warning signs, the more lives we can save. And if you want more information about protecting your heart as you age, subscribe to this channel. I have much more to share with you. Thank you for watching. This is Dr. James Mitchell. Take care of your heart, because it is taking care of you every single moment of your life.